I want to preface this video by saying that I'm not a therapist. This is just my opinion on what I would do if I was in your situation. So the question says, so what do we say when she says that she has a headache? Your first option is to suggest to her to go to a freaking doctor, because let's be so for real. If you have a headache that often, then you need to go see a doctor. In fact, you can pick up your keys and say, you know what? We're going to go to the ER right now. We're going to go to urgent care right now because you've been telling me that you have a headache for the past 3 months and I'm worried about you. Remember, every single time you validate a woman's experience, she is going to love you 10 times more. That's the first option. The second option is to find a way to communicate where you say, well, you had time for your friends, you had time for the gym, you had time for whatever it is she's into, and you didn't have a headache. So what is it about me that makes you feel like you have a headache to not be intimate with me? That's number two. And you lay it out there. If you communicate that correctly and calmly and fairly, and she turns it out and she turns it on you and blames you and screams at you and turns it into this big confrontation, then you know that she's just deflecting blame onto you. Because if you cannot go to your partner about a situation or a need without it turning into an argument, or she's unable to communicate with you, then you're in the wrong relationship. And lastly, if you've talked to her, if you've taken her to the doctor, if you've done all the things that you can do and you still want to be in this relationship, then anytime that she needs your help with something, you tell her you have a headache. Tell her you don't feel good. Every time she needs decorations down for Christmas. Every single time she needs you to fix her car. Every single time she calls you on the phone and says, hey babe, can you pick this up from the grocery store? You can tell her, I have a headache. I don't feel like it. And you give her that excuse until she finally speaks up and says, why do you always say that you have a headache? And then you can turn around and say, well, how does it feel because you do it to me or have done it to me? That option is a lot more childish, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, if you know in your heart that damn well she doesn't have a headache, then you're putting up with BS and crap for literally no reason. At the end of the day, women that use they have a headache as an excuse not to be intimate with you, 9 times out of 10, they don't like you anymore. That's point blank period. Either they haven't figured it out yet, or they know that and they feel like they have no way out. Either they don't have the financial means to leave your ass, or she's already planning her exit. And that is the absolute truth. The only other option to this scenario, which I don't cover a lot because a lot of men get all salty and sassy in the comments, is like, if you are the type of man that only touches your wife or girlfriend with the expectation of it turning into sex, that is why she is turned off. That is why when you go to initiate or touch her, she doesn't want to do it, because you have trained her that any type of affection, whether it's hand holding, you put your hand on her waist, you smack her butt, whatever it is that you guys do to flirt, she thinks that by you doing that, that means that you immediately just want to be intimate right then and there. So it's actually become a turnoff. And that's another separate conversation that you would have to have with her to get to the root cause as to why she feels the need to have a headache or make excuses not to be intimate with you. And it's a tough conversation to have because, one, a lot of women want to actually protect your feelings because that's why they're not communicating to you in the first place. That's why they're using I have a headache. But I can promise you that if I was ever in a relationship or in a situation where anytime I tried to be intimate and it happened for years on end, months on end, and that was what made me feel good in the relationship and something that I needed, and I wasn't getting that need met, I would absolutely leave. There are plenty of women out here that will give you exactly what you need as long as you communicate those needs. And 9 times out of 10, if she loves you, she wants to take care of you. It's in our nature, and I've said this several times, it's in our nature to take care of the people that we love, and that includes intimacy, being physical, creating the connection, because don't forget that sex is not just about the act. It's about reconnecting with your partner, especially after a long day or weeks, whatever. Use it as a form of connection and not just for the physicality of it. I don't know if this is going to help you, but, like I said, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a random Joe Schmo that speaks my mind and gives advice. Don't let this be like die hard advice, but this is what I would personally do if I was in that situation. Okay, bye.